I want to talk to you today about winning the battle within. Because the biggest enemy that you'll ever face in life is your inner me. You see, as humans, sometimes we're a lot of things that people say or the things that we go through to destroy our whole moods, our goals, and our dreams. Let me ask you a question. Have there ever been a time where you felt so confident about yourself or something that happened to you, but because of what someone said or something that happened to you, all of that confidence went away? Trust me, you're not alone. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sylvester Jenkins III. I'm from Columbus, Georgia. I grew up in a low-income, single-parent home in a gang and drug-infested neighborhood where a young black man was only expected to do three things, and that's go to jail, die, or make it out on pure luck. So instead of becoming a product of my environment, I chose to join the military and invest in myself instead. Beating the odds with no luck, all hard work and determination, I can now call myself a combat veteran, a best-selling author, a first-generation college graduate, and a professional speaker. By using this powerful three-step formula, I'm here to share with you today. Would you believe me if I told you that you were unbreakable? Would you believe me if I told you that you were unstoppable? Would you believe me if I told you that you can overcome anything? So here's what I need you to do. I need you to take out a sheet of paper and something to write with, because the information that I'm about to share with you today is so crucial, and I don't want you to forget it. This is some information that not only you can use for yourself, but those around you as well. So on this sheet of paper, what I need for you to do is write the words, I will, in all caps. I will. Then right up under that, I need you to write a capital M. Then right up under that M, I need you to write a capital A. Then right up under that A, I need you to write a capital X. Then right up under that X, I need you to write the word out, O-U-T. Do you see what that spells? It says, I will max out. I will max out. You see, max is short for the word maximum, which means reaching your fullest and highest potential. This information that I'm about to share with you today is an infrastructure to systemize your success. So when we look at that first letter, M, write this down. It stands for mindset. Mindset. You see, I used to wonder if mindset really mattered. But believe it or not, the things that we feed our brains is just as important as what we feed our bodies. The conversations, the images, the words, the ideas, they all shape our lives. Just to give you an indication of how important your mindset is, everything that you imagine can become reality in just a blink of an eye. I promise you that. But as a teenager, I was an aspiring drug dealer, a gang member, and an occasional thief. I failed the 4th grade, I failed the 6th grade, I failed the 8th grade, I failed the 10th grade, I failed 10th grade summer school, and I failed the 12th grade. People thought I was so dumb that if I chose to speak my mind, I'd be speechless. I can recall being in English class my senior year, taking a test, and my teacher was calling everybody out into the hallway individually to give them their grades. And as she called my name, my heart started racing, my palms started sweating. You see, this was the deciding factor on if I would graduate on time or not. And as we're standing out in the hallway anticipating what she's about to say, she had told me that I had failed the test, that I didn't have what it takes, and that I wasn't college material. My heart just dropped right there on the spot. Later on that year, I graduated in summer school, but me, thinking that I was too dumb for college, I chose to join the military instead. You see, I can speak about my accomplishments all day, but I was molded by the hardships, the struggles, the sacrifices, the failures. If I ask you who Tom Brady is, I'm sure you can tell me who he is. Tom Brady is considered the greatest of all time to play the game of football. Whether you're a fan or not, you know the name Tom Brady. If I asked you to give me one of his accomplishments, I'm sure you could spit them out all day. 7-time Super Bowl champ, 3-time MVP. The list goes on and on. But did you know that Tom Brady was selected in the 6th round as the 199th pick? Which means he was passed over by all 32 teams 5 previous times. Did you know that 6 other quarterbacks were selected before him in the draft that are no longer in the league? Did you know that Tom Brady ran the 2nd slowest time ever for a quarterback in a 40-yard dash? Did you know that the Patriots were about to cut him after the preseason, but decided to keep him as the 4th-string quarterback? Not the 3rd, not the 2nd, but the 4th-string quarterback. But no matter what people said, no matter what people thought, Tom Brady never lost his mindset of becoming the greatest quarterback to play the game of football. You see, there are 2 different types of mindsets. You have a fixed mindset and you have a growth mindset. You see, a fixed mindset says that I wasn't born with that ability, so I'm unable to do certain things. But then you have a growth mindset. A growth mindset says if I put in the work and if I work hard and I give maximum effort, then I can achieve anything I put my mind to. This is what I like to call eyesight versus mindsight. You see, your eyesight is seeing the things that are right in front of you. Like Tom Brady being selected in the 6th round, or me failing over and over again in school. But your mindsight is perceiving the things that you see, nobody else. Like Tom Brady becoming the greatest quarterback to play the game of football. Me becoming the 1st-generation college graduate or writing multiple books. You see, your mindsight is a powerful lens that controls your actions and emotions. I promise you, if you change your mindset, you can change anything. So now we're going to talk about A, which stands for, write this down, attitude. Write that down, attitude. You see, your attitude can make you or your attitude can break you. Your attitude is everything. I believe there are 3 different types of people in this world. And follow along with me when I say this. You have the potato, the egg, and the coffee bean. Let me say that for you one more time. The potato, the egg, and the coffee bean. Now I know some of you might be looking at me real strange right now, but just listen to me and just hear me out. So everybody faces adversity. Adversity is inevitable, but everybody reacts to it differently. So let's say for this analogy, we're going to call adversity hot boiling water. So initially looking at that potato, right? You looking at it, it's hard, which can be considered as being strong. But then when you stick it in that adversity, that hot boiling water, let's say lost a job, what happens to that potato? It softens on the inside. It becomes weak. And then you look at that egg. Now the egg is already fragile before it even touches adversity, before it even faces it. Now if you drop an egg on the ground right now, what's going to happen to it? It's going to break. But if you stick it in that adversity, that hot boiling water, let's say a loss of a loved one, let's say a divorce or a huge breakup, what happens to that egg on the inside? It becomes hardened. It becomes bitter. The same outer shell, but on the inside, it's hard. That bitterness is hurt. But then you have that coffee bean. Now you stick that coffee bean in the hot boiling water, it's going to change from hot boiling water to coffee. The same circumstance that brought it pain, it changed the surrounding for its better. So you should always strive to be a coffee bean in anything that you do. This is where resilience comes into play. You see, resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity. So I'm a recent retired Army First Sergeant. I joined the military due to job security and many other family members that served. For about the first 8 years of my military career, I consider myself to be a follower that transitioned into a manager. Notice how I said a manager and not a leader. I did not have the belief or the confidence that I can ever be a leader. It wasn't until my 3rd deployment to Iraq that I realized the obligation that had been bestowed upon me. And as we get ready to board the plane and we get that last hour to spend with our families, one of my soldiers introduced me to his family, his wife, his kids, his mother, and his father. And as we're standing there talking, and I'm listening to all these great things that this soldier is saying about me, I'm standing there in of amazement of the impact and the influence that I had on this person. And his mother pulls me to the side. And when she pulls me to the side, she tells me to please take care of my son and to bring him back home safe. You see, for someone outside of my family to have that much trust in me and to speak so highly of me, lit a fire in me that continues to burn to this day. It gave me a sense of purpose. It gave me a sense of self-worth. 12 months later, we came back from that deployment safe and sound. But 6 months later, I almost lost my life to the battle within. You see, no one knew that during that deployment that I was going through a huge divorce. No one knew that I had resorted to drugs and alcohol to suppress the pain. I could not overcome my inner demons. I thought there was only one way out. You see, I faced challenges at all levels, from drugs, alcohol, loneliness, depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, you name it. You see, from my eyesight and what people told me, I felt like I was a failure at all levels. I had did the ultimate thing you can do to yourself, and that was give up. I had hit rock bottom, but little did I know that hitting rock bottom wasn't the end of the world. As a matter of fact, it was the foundation that formed the greatest growth inside of me. You see, everybody has the heart of a lion. Have you ever wondered why the lion is the king of the jungle? It's not the biggest. Last time I checked, the elephant is. It's not the tallest. Last time I checked, the giraffe is. It's not the fastest. Last time I checked, the cheetah is. But regardless of what happens, whenever the lion comes around these animals, the first thing they do is run away. They scatter. And it's all because of one word. It's attitude. You see, when a lion sees these animals, he only thinks of one word, and that's lunch. I can eat these animals. And he acts the way he thinks, which goes back to what? Our confidence. You see, there's a famous quote by Zig Ziglar that says, a bad attitude is like a flat tire. You can't go nowhere until you change it. So now that we talked about attitude, we're going to talk about X. Write this down. It stands for execute. Execute. You see, once we have our mindset on point and we have our attitude on point, the only thing left to do is execute. This is where you go from saying I wish to I will. This is where you go from being ordinary to extraordinary. This is where you go from being average to savage. Your body doesn't control your mind. Your mind controls your body. You see, everything takes motion. Everything takes action. Everything takes work. If you want to be successful in life, you have to put in the work. If you want to accomplish your goals, if you want to accomplish your dreams, you have to put in the work. If you want to be a successful athlete, you have to put in the work. If you want to graduate college, you have to put in the work. The amount of effort you give is important. The amount of effort you give is between you and you, nobody else. And if you don't find yourself moving at a fast rate like a locomotive, guess what? Small steps equal great distances. Small steps equal great distances. This is where you need to turn on your GPS. And I'm not talking about TomTom, and I'm not talking about Garmin. I'm talking about having goals, purpose, and a strategy. Let me say that for you one more time. Goals, purpose, and a strategy. You see, once we know our goals and we understand our purpose and we have a strategy in order to achieve them, there's no reason why we can't reach our destination. Zero reason why we can't reach our destination. See, now it's not easy to max out, but guess what? It's simple. It takes what I call the 3D effect. What is the 3D effect, you might ask? I'm glad you asked. The 3D effect is the ability to be three-dimensional by using dedication, determination, and discipline. Let me say that for you again. Dedication, determination, and discipline. You see, you have to get it out your mind. You have to get it out your brain. You got to stop telling yourself that you're a failure. You got to stop telling yourself that you're not meant to be here. You got to stop telling yourself that you can't do this or you can't do that. See, everybody is created on purpose, for a purpose, with a purpose. Let me say that for you one more time. You were created on purpose, for a purpose, with a purpose. You weren't born to be average. You were born to be awesome. You was born to be extraordinary. You weren't born to be average. You see, some of y'all won't get it until you get it. I just gave you a piece of my life. I told you I grew up in a single parent home. I told you that I was doing drugs. I told you that I failed over and over and over again. I was tired of being a failure. I wanted more for my life. Once I started maxing out at everything changed for me. I've traveled the world. I'm a husband. I'm a father of 4 beautiful kids. I've written multiple books. I graduated college. The same guy they said wasn't college material. The same guy that given up on himself. The same guy that went through this huge divorce and ended up with nothing is standing before you today. So I leave you with this. Don't let your start determine your finish. Max out in everything that you do. This is how you make it to that next level. This is how you rise to the top. This is how you win the battle within.